So we've got the C scale here, and let's just go ahead and play through this once. Basically, you're starting on your 3rd string, and that's the 0 underneath the C, and then the 2 is going to be the 2nd fret, right? And then I put a line in between them to say that we're switching strings. So then you switch over to 0 on the 2nd string, and then you're going to do the 1st fret, and then the 3rd fret, and the 3rd fret, and then we're switching strings again to the 1st string now, and now we're going to do open fret, the 2nd fret, the 3rd fret, and then the 5th fret. So this is 1st string, okay? So and just really quick a review on what I'm saying here, because I know some people don't all know this terminology. So it's really important. The 1st string is the string closest to the ground, okay? And so we count them 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom to the top. We've got our fret numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then finger numbers is the other thing. Is if you played piano before, you need to renumber your fingers, right? So 1st finger is going to be index finger, middle is going to be 2nd, and then 3rd is ring, and then pinky is number 4. And in that way, I can say to you, when you're going to do this 2nd fret on the 3rd string, you can use your 2nd finger to do that. And that's really the best way to do it. So I'm going to go open, 2nd finger, open, 1st, 3rd, open, 2, 3, and then 5, I'm going to use the pinky on that one. So that's going to be 4th finger on the 5th fret. Okay, and that's our basic C scale. And I just wanted to show you that. But there's another way. This is the notation way to write stuff. And there's another way to write music, and that's through what we call tablature. And, it really doesn't matter. Let me see, we'll just say that, right? Okay. So, yep. Just making sure. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Rosalind.
Okay, all right. And so this other way of notating, instead of 5 lines for a staff, we're going to have 4 lines, and these 4 lines are going to represent our strings. Okay, and so instead of having a clef over here, we're going to have, usually they'll write something like tab, right, over on the side to tell you that this isn't a clef, this isn't a staff. We're not going to have notes on this. We're only going to have numbers on this, and the numbers are for one thing only, and that is to
Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, we still got 4 more coming. Okay. All right. Okay.
He's the roll caller.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know where that originated from. Okay. So,
That's a kid.
yes. So, another way that you could write this is you could say that this is string number 1, this is string number 2, here's number 3, and here's number 4. Now, you notice the thing that's wrong about that is that it's upside down from what you're used to, right? Okay. And so this is the hard thing about tablature, is that you do have to flip it over in your brain. But after you do it for a couple of weeks, your brain just starts automatically doing it. It's just like looking in the mirror and doing things right way with the mirror, okay? Everything's the opposite in the mirror, but you get used to that. You even can read backwards, if you start looking at words in the mirror, okay? And this is what happens, right? And so, and these are the A, the E, the C, and the G strings, right? Okay? And so now all I have to do is put numbers on these to tell us how to play a melody. And so just a really simple melody, say E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C. Anybody know what melody that is? Right? Okay. So all I'm doing is writing numbers on the strings, right? So I'm going 0, 0, 1, 3, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0. And of course there's more to that melody. It's Ode to Joy by Beethoven, right? But this is a really good one for beginners to learn, is this Ode to Joy melody. But that's basically the thing. Try playing these with me, okay? Just as an exercise. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 0, 0, 1, 3, 3, 1, 0. Switching strings to 2, 0, 0. And then if we were going to go on, it would be 2, 0, 0, 2, 2. Okay, and so that's that's Ode to Joy, right? And that's how to read tablature. And tablature is really that simple. The problem with tablature is a lot of times it doesn't have rhythms. It just tells you the note that you're supposed to play and where it's played on the board. In fact, it doesn't even tell you the note. It just tells you where that is played on the board and expects you to know what the note is. Now there's a slightly better system that happens, and it's this, where you have the note staff notation above, but then you have the tablature underneath, and the tablature tells you where all those notes go. So you're basically getting the same information two different ways, and you also get the rhythmic values. And so this is a little Irish tune, and there's sort of three levels of stuff that we're going to be doing with this. And so I want everybody to learn everything, but then when it comes performance time, you'll be able to kind of go into the category you're most comfortable with. Okay, and there's kind of three things going on here. So first of all is the melody, and let me just play the melody for you of this first page. Okay, this is let me see if I can. This is Tam Lin. Okay, and Tam Lin was a cheeky elfin knight who used to hold people up on the highway. So, Tam Lin. Okay, and that's just the first half of it. Okay, and then we have the second half that goes. And this is basically, you can see what's going on here is that I have written in the chords in between the two staves. Okay, and usually the chords are up above the staff notation, but I put them in the middle just because there was more room there, and I think it'll be easier to read because most of us are going to be looking at the tablature. And so the first chord is an A minor, and you'll notice that what's happening in the music is outlining an A minor, right? So we've got this A minor position here, and it goes 0 on the second string, 2 on the fourth string, and then 0 on the first string. And so we have this bum bum bum, right? And then we're adding a finger to get that 3 on in the next section, and we go bum bum bum. But basically, all we're doing is holding a chord position, right? But then our fingers are moving around it. So let's try this really, really, really slow, okay? And then in the next measure, you notice you're going to add one more finger, and that's going to change the A minor chord into an F chord, and that's going to be 1 on the second string, right? Okay, so we start with just 2. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, and ought to ought, ought to 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, ought, and then we go up here to 7, 7, ought 2, ought 7. Ought, and then we go down to 3, 4, ought, 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 2, and then we're back to the same material again. 2, ought, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, ought, 7, ought, 5, ought, 7, ought, 3, 4, ought, right? Okay? And I know some of you were just like, I can't do it. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Okay. Now my kids, my middle school kids did this one this semester, so I know you guys can do it. Okay. It's just a matter of just sitting down and very slowly going through those different kind of positions, right? But this is a good one to do it because it uses mainly chord shapes, right? We go to this A minor chord, and then we go to this F chord, and then we go to a G chord, but we're only using strings 1, 2, and 3, right? We got the 7 on the second string, and we've got the 5 on the first string, and then it's just playing off of strings 1, 2, and 3. And then we're not doing a chord here, we're doing a melody kind of line here with the 3, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 2. And I messed up. I missed that last one. Okay. So, but that goes really nice along with the D chord. And then we go back to A minor. Okay, and so you guys have heard the melody a couple times. What I'd like you to do now is I'm gonna walk you through these chord shapes. So A minor, second fret on this fourth string, second finger. Okay, just go ahead and strum it. And then we have the alt A minor, which is where we're gonna put our third finger now down, added to the first string. Okay, right? And then we're going to do our F chord, and we're just going to add to that our first finger on the first string, first fret of the second string. And then we're to an F. So that transition, that's 3 fingers being put down at individual times. So first we start just with the second finger, and then we put the first finger down on the first fret of the second. No, sorry. Third fret on the first. Sorry, I reversed that. And then we put the first finger down on the first fret of the second, right? And so we get this kind of magical transition from A minor to F, right? Okay, now this is the first hard thing, is we have to remove all of our fingers, and then we have to put our first finger on the 5th fret of the first string and our third finger on the 7th fret of the second string. And there are fret markers on both of those. So you should be on ones that have fret markers. And then you don't want to strum all the way across. You're only going to pluck strings 1, 2, and 4. And that's going to give you a G. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to show you the other way for those of us that are strumming is a G like this. So if we're just strumming, we don't need to go up to that position. And then we can strum all 4. Okay, there's 2 ways to do this one. It's to put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and your second finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st, and then your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, right? That's one way to do it. The other way, the way that I do it actually, is to flip my 1st and 2nd fingers around. And I put my 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd, and then I put my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd. Okay, so either way it's the exact same thing, it's just 2 different ways to put your fingers on the chords, right? So there's your G chord, and then for your D chord, Kelsey, are you tired?
Always.
Always. All right, so
Cool in here.
we got this. Oh yes, it is. It's nice and chilly, huh? Okay, so we got the D chord next. Okay, now there's 2 ways to do a D chord. The way I like to do it is to bar with my first finger across all 4 strings on the 2nd fret, and then I put my pinky up on the 5th fret on the 1st string. That's the way I like to do a D. There is another way to do it, and that's to put some kind of combination of fingers on frets 2 for strings 2 through 4. And so some people do it this way, some people do it this way, some people do it this way, some people take their finger and bend it backwards and do it like this, right? And do a partial bar. Okay, it doesn't matter. You guys, you choose the one you want to do. I personally like to do with my first finger in the middle and my other 2 fingers around it, and the reason for that is because this makes for a very easy transition to an A chord, and A chords are next to D chords all the time. So if you go from this to an A chord, right, which is first finger on the first fret of the 3rd and second finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th, then your set position just to slide that one finger up and then put your 3rd finger down and you've got a D, right? Now they're all on the same fret. You've just got your fingers in a teeny tiny little triangle there, right? That's the way I like to do it, but really it's up to you to choose a way. I've told you why I like to do it that way, so.
It's all on the 2nd fret. Right?
Yeah, it's all on the 2nd fret. And so we have the A of that chord being doubled. It's being doubled on the 1st and the 4th string, and the reason I don't like that as much is it leaves it top heavy, whereas if you do the barred version of this chord, you end up with a D down here and a D down up here, and so then it's much more balanced sounding to me. But there are times when this one is just the only thing possible to do, right? When this one would just be too much work to get there in time, right? So it's good to know both. And I think we have covered all of the chords that are in this. So we got A minor, F, G, and D, right? And so for those of you that just want to do the strumming of this, it's very simple, okay? We are in a kind of a swing. So normally you'd see this 4/4 time signature and you'd say, oh, this is bum 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 ba dum bum, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, but the Irish don't like to do that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so really if we were to write this out the way it sounds, it would actually be in what we call 12/8, which is 4 dotted quarter notes per measure, right? And so you have this swing going on instead, right? So everything's divided into triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a yum bum bum yum ba da da dum ya da da. And it's very natural. But if you write it out the way it feels, it looks very unnatural, okay? But it's a very natural way to feel it, right? So for this, basically we're just going to be doing down ups, but they're not going to be even. So if you can see right there where it says strummers on the up there, we have down space up, down space up, right? So the little space means nothing happens there, right? Okay? So this is basically a down strum, down. And then the up is just with the same finger, right? So down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Try it on this A minor chord, because that's the tonality we're in. Yum, bum, bum. Now go to F. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get 4 of those, and then we're gonna go to F. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and F. 2, 3, 4, and G. 2, 3. Pick your D. D. 2, 3, 4 to A minor. And F. To G. Now this is the only one where we have 2 counts. D back to A minor, right? And then the second half of the song, it's just more of the same chords, except they don't change as often. So now instead of 4 counts, you've got 8 counts of A minor, 8 counts of D, 6 counts of A minor, 2 counts of D, and then we're back to the end. But it's all the same chords, okay? So let me do the end here, because the end's a little bit tricky, because all of a sudden our counting changes completely. Because we have F to A minor to D, G, A minor, right? right? Okay, so you got that D, G, A minor. That'd happen 1 per beat. D, G, A minor, right? Okay. Now, and on the second part here, you'll notice that I've included 2 tablature staffs. Okay, there is the hard one, which is the one on the top, and then there's the easy one, which is the one on the bottom. So the one I had my youth learn was the easy one on the bottom. Okay, but it's up to you what you want to do. Let me demo this second half of the song for you so you can see kind of what's going to be involved if you decide to do the top one. Okay, so basically I'm going to be doing really funky things with my fingers here, so I hope you watch what's going on. I've lost my place. Sorry. And then we're back down to here. Okay? And so if you want to dance around around the 12th fret, you're welcome to go for it. Kelsey, I know, wants to do it. Okay? Maybe Ray. Maybe. Okay? But for the rest, have no fear. It sounds the same down, just an octave down. And it's a lot easier, a ton easier, okay? And so if you want to learn that one, that's great, okay? Let's talk about the finger picking now. So there's a third part here, and that's the finger picking part. And so we've got this triplet feel going, right? Okay? So basically what we're going to be doing is on the finger picking numbers there stand for string numbers. Okay, so basically what you do is you make a chord and then you pluck those strings in the order that it says. That's all there is to it. And this is what we call 3-string technique, something I picked up a long time ago from another ukulele teacher. Okay, and we're ignoring string number 4. And the reason that is because oftentimes strings 1 through 3 make complete chords. Okay, and so even though we're going to finger the A minor, we're actually not going to pluck the string we're fingering, okay? So watch what happens here when I do this. It's like this. And you can hear how this will go right along with what's going on in the melody, right? Let me sing the melody. Byam ba da ya da da dum da 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 dum. Right? Okay. Do you see how that works? Okay. And so this 3-finger technique, basically you plant your thumb on your 3rd string, you put your index finger on your 2nd string and your middle on your 1st string, and then they just go in order. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Now, there's some disagreement about this principle out there in the world, but I am one who believes you should strum where the neck meets the body of the instrument, but that you should move your hand to finger pick down just below your fretboard. Okay, so you don't want to be plucking over your fretboard. Frankly, I think it makes it just more difficult, and you get a thinner sound. Okay, if you're able to get down right here below your fretboard and pluck 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, you're just going to get a better sound than if you go here. Do you hear the difference? Right? Now, I've seen some pro players who finger pick in this area. That's why I say it's an area of disagreement, right? But generally these guys have fingernails, like major fingernails that, you know, and so they're plucking with their fingernails, not with the fleshy parts of their fingers. And so I still think this sounds better down here. I think it's more full sounding rather than, right? Okay. And so I recommend doing it down here. Try it with me on the A minor, which requires really no fingers for this one. Here we go. Ready and go. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Now to F, F, to G, pick your D, 3, 2, 1, A minor, to F, to G, to D, back to A minor, because that's the one that's only 2 counts, right? Okay? You got to watch out for those tricks. The music will trick you like that. It'll be like 4 counts, 4 counts, 4 counts, 2 counts, sorry. Right? Okay? All right. And then for the strumming on the second half here, basically you just strum once per measure or once per chord, whichever one happens more often. Right? So if a chord only lasts for 2 full measures, then you have to strum it for when the measure line hits again, even though it doesn't say it. So on this, it would sound like this. And when I do a 1 strum per chord, I like to do a nice big thumb strum because that gives more of a harp-like sound, right? And I'm doing it rather slow. Instead of doing it like that, I'm doing right? 3, 4, 2, and then to the G chord, G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, back to A minor, 2, here's one's tricky, and D, and F, and A, and D, G, A minor, right? Okay, so the end there is the tricky part, right? So let's start right on that A minor that's right in the middle there, measure 13. So here you go, 1, 2, ready, and A minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, and D, and F, and A minor, and B, G, A minor. Now, whenever you have 2 chords in that throw you for a loop, you know, it's a good thing just to practice those 2 chords on their own, okay? And so I like to call them chord pairs. Anytime you see 2 chords together that you've never seen together, that doesn't mean you've never seen the chords before. It means that you've never seen these 2 chords hanging out together before. Anytime you see that situation, you just need to practice that transition. For this one, it's F, D to F is a pretty interesting transition. D to F, D to F, and then I just go back and forth between those 2 until I feel comfortable about it. And then I work on to the next one. F to A minor is not a big deal, but A minor to D is kind of hard. Let's try that one. A minor to D. Ready, go. A minor to D. A minor to D. A minor to D. And then when you're feeling good about that one, you can do D to G. Here we go. Ready, and D to G, and D to G, and D to G. One more time to D to G, and then G to A minor. Ready, and G to A minor. That one's not so hard. G to A minor, G to A minor, G to A minor. I find that G is one of those ones that you do have to practice with other chords because you've got 3 fingers that have to land all at the same time. It's like sticking a 3-point landing on a plane. Do you know what I mean? All 3 points have to hit at the same time. 2-finger chords, 1-finger chords really aren't as hard. 3-finger chords, 4-finger chords, those require a lot more practice because there's just so many more landing points. So that's it for the chords, and then for the finger picking pattern for this second section. You'll notice that I have 12, 1 and 2 stacked on top of each other, 3. And that means that you're going to pluck strings 1 and 2 at the same time, and then you're going to pluck string 3 by itself, right? And so we're back to our swing rhythm. I didn't put in the little dashes. I should have, but I didn't put them there. Okay, so if I'm on the A minor, I'm going to go like this. 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, 3. And all I'm basically doing is hooking my 2 fingers on strings 1 and 2. I'm just pulling them towards me just a little bit and just letting them go.
Can we do that again? How are you doing it?
So I'm taking my first and second finger,
Okay.
I got first finger on the second string and second finger on the first string, and I'm just kind of notching them and treating it as one finger.
Okay.
It's like a finger with a notch in it, right? And then I just pull it towards me just a little bit and let it go. And that's all there is to it. And then your thumb goes in the opposite direction. So this is very ergonomic because you're going back and forth. You're going 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, 3. And you'll see, if you'll notice here on my fingers, I don't keep my fingers together like this. I actually have my fingers lower than I have my thumb, and that way it doesn't get in each other's way. So my thumb's higher, and I go 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, 3, 12, right? And this kind of lilting stuff sounds really great with folk music, you know, which this is. So let's try it with the same chords. Now, it becomes difficult when you get to that one per chord thing here at the end, because it sounds like this. Here's the F at the bottom there. It goes F, A minor, D, G, A minor, right? And that's a little bit tough, okay? And so try it though. Here we go, from the measure 9. 1, 2, ready, and A minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to A minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, D, F, A, D, G, A minor. Right? Okay, and that's hard. It's hard. It's kind of a crazy thing. The thing you want to do first is get the strumming version down first. That's the easiest one, because just doing this is a lot easier than trying to fit in those two separate motions with your fingers, okay? So you want to go for the strumming first, then the finger picking, and then when you feel really comfortable with that, then you want to attack the tablature, right? And so basically we're just going to separate out, and everybody's going to be able to choose one that's they're comfortable with, okay? So you don't need to worry about, you know, in 6 weeks when it comes time for us to perform.
And you're asking me not to perform. You don't.
No. I won't be saying things like that. No. No, it comes, You'll be just fine. You'll be fine. I'm just saying that you'll get to choose. You'll get to be on the end of things that you want to be on. Okay. All right. All right. So it is fun to go for the tablature, though. You know, we could really just have one person on the finger picking and one person on the strumming, and everybody else on the tablature, or we can switch it out other ways too. But go for it. Go for it. Right. And. All right, we have a few minutes left. So I wanted to tackle, since you guys are, I think everybody was going to stay to both classes tonight from the emails I got, okay? So I want to look at a little section of tablature here in Jamaica Farewell. And so basically what we have here is what we're doing is, except for one note, we're doing what we call a second position type thing. And so your first finger is going to be assigned to fret number 2. Your second finger is going to be assigned to 3. Your third finger is going to be assigned to 4, and your fifth finger is going to be, your fourth finger is going to be assigned to 5, right? So you've got 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And so basically, those are always going to play those notes. Always going to play those notes. And there's only one spot where that doesn't happen, and that's on the second page here. And we have to slide. If you look at the very first one on right under won't be back, you have to slide that first finger down for 1 second and then slide it back up to number 2. Okay? Because we go, right? Are you guys familiar with this song, by the way? Has anybody heard Jamaica Farewell before? No? Okay. Let me sing it for you once, and that'll give you an idea of what this melody is sort of like, okay? So down away across the ocean spray, where the sun shines brightly on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, and I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is spinning around. I have to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Okay, who's heard it?
I know.
Okay, everybody's heard it. Good, except for Kelsey. Okay, so Kelsey doesn't go for that island music. So this was very famously sung, I think, by Harry Belafonte. Yes. Okay, and I mean, it's been sung by other people too, but he was a famous guy, right? And did a lot of these kinds of songs, and had a beautiful voice. He was also an interesting political activist too. So Harry Belafonte. But the reason I wanted to show you that is because this really is quite simple. You know, you're just going. Right? And what we're going to do is we're going to sing the first verse, we're going to play this tablature the second time through, and then the third time through, we'll sing the second verse. And so we'll have a little instrumental interlude, right? And that's always fun. So let's do this really, really, really slow. Okay? So your 5th fret is your pinky. Okay? 2nd string. 1, 2, ready, and 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5. Let's just go that far again, okay? All right. 1, 2, ready, and 5, 5, 5. 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5. Go on. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2. That's the first time we've been on the 3rd string. Okay? Did everybody catch that? Okay? Let's do that again. Let's take it from the 2nd measure of the 2nd system. You've got to rest on the first beat. So it's 5, 5, 5, 5. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Rest. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 5. Okay, good. I'm hearing lots of bad, wrong notes, okay? That means you guys are leaping in and doing your best. That's what I want to hear at this point, okay? All right, just leap in, leap in, leap in, okay? Okay, from the beginning. Let's do that far. 1, 2, ready, and 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, and then a rest. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2. Right? Okay? And then we have the chorus, and I'm sad to say, right? 5, 2, 5, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 3. Okay? All right? And then we're switching back between strings a lot more. So let's not worry about that part yet. Let's just worry up to I made a stop, and then we'll stop, right? Okay? So let's say it one more time, okay? Maybe even a little slower. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 2, 4, 5. 4, 2, 5, 5. 3, 3, 5. 3, 2, 3, 5. Rest. 5, 5, 5, 5. 5, 5, 2, 4, 5. 5, 4, 2, 5. 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2, 2, 5, and then we go, and then we're stopping right there. Okay, all right. And so I would just go for it this week on that. Okay, and if you feel like going farther into the song, kudos to you, right? Okay, but we can talk about the second half of the song next time. I just wanted to get you started on that because it's going to be really fun to do that one. And let me see. All right, so now is our break time, and with most people going for both classes, I'm just going to answer questions and stuff in the break time. And so, what questions do you guys have for me so far, if any? Kelsey's like, I know everything.
I don't know everything. I don't know. Can you go back to tablature without the notes today? So when it's just tablature.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of confusing to me.
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen tablature until tonight.
Okay. So what do you mean?
Like when you drew it on the staff.
Okay, you want to see it that way?
Musical notes.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you do see it that way. The problem with it is, like I said, you don't get any of that. You don't get any of the rhythmic values, right? And sometimes, like I have been known to like do some kind of a hybrid thing in my computer program, but it's kind of I don't know what the right word is. Complicated to do, time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so usually the staff notation with the regular tablature with no rhythmic notations on it is what you see most often, is you'll see those two staves, right? Generally, once you know the melody though, and you know the rhythms, generally you're just going to be looking at the tablature, right? And or if you're a person that doesn't want to play with tablature, you can just learn how to read the notes and learn which note is which, right?
So can you put up
There's arguments for both.
You had music that we were strumming through the first time you had us play tablature.
Yeah. Okay. So it did have notation too. It's just.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, it's just that it didn't have words, and so it wasn't quite so crowded, space-wise. But it was. You know, and I picked this huge long list of music for us to learn, but we'll see how much of it we really get to, if you know what I mean. So that was Tam Lin.
There, okay.
Yeah, and so
I guess I missed the notes.
Yeah, the notes are up there. It's just that it's a much less crowded space because you don't have all those lyrics in there too, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, there is a way to do it so that you can attach little note, like little flags to the numbers, and so you can kind of get the rhythms as well. I think this is a better way though, because you actually see what notes you're playing, and in the long run, I think it's just better this way.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it isn't a dumb question at all. Because a lot of guitarists learn to read tablature, and they just have the numbers and nothing else. They don't know what the note is.
Yeah.
They know the rhythm because they've heard it, right? And they're learning something they want, they learn something they know that they want, that they really want to play. Right? And so they'll turn to tablature, which has usually been created by other enthusiasts, and sometimes it won't really be right? It'll be like semi-accurate, right? Even professional editions, sometimes you get these kind of semi-accurate, tablatures, right? but if you have the notes up there, you can kind of check the notes, right, too, and against what you're hearing. But when you just have numbers, it's much harder to visualize the music in my experience. So it's not a dumb question. It's relevant because there's a lot of, some people that are like, don't use tablature, and there's some people that are like, tablature is the best way to learn, and so you wouldn't think there'd be controversy in learning how to play an instrument, but there's always people of different opinions. So I think it's good to know tablature because it shows you not only what the note is, but it shows you where you're going to put your finger. So sometimes a really experienced player will be able to choose fingerings that are a lot easier than what you might think up on your own, right? Experienced players don't play things harder just for the sake of playing things harder. They find out easier ways to play them and use their vast knowledge of their fretboard to figure out an easier way to do it. I've often had my students find easier ways to play things that I have tabbed out, right? And I'm tabbing it out for the very first time, but then you play it for a while and you're like, oh, well, there's an easier way to do this. I could do it this way and it would be so much easier. And sometimes, like especially Max, who's not here, he said, oh, well, you could do it this way and it would be this. That would mean you wouldn't have to move from here to here, And those are things you're looking for, is things to make it easier for you, not to make it more difficult for yourself. So, any other questions about the instrumental things? Okay.
I was late. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But this music will be up on the.
Oh yeah. So I haven't really talked about that yet.
Okay,
so so a lot of the music I've chosen is stuff that I can just share with you freely. There probably going to be a few pieces that we do that you'll actually need to purchase a copy of. A lot of the stuff that I've chosen for this time around is available in the Daily Ukulele, which is a big, fat, thick book. You get about 356 songs for about $25, and it's lots of pop standards and things that you'll probably use. So that's a worthwhile investment, and I'll share the links with you for those when we get to them. But I'm not gonna send you links to music to buy until I'm sure that we're actually going to do them, because I don't want you to have to buy something and then we end up not using it, right? And so I'll send you stuff as we go along, right? And I will post those things to the Patreon page, okay? So I'm going to post the video from tonight's rehearsal, so you'll be able to review all you want on this stuff that we've covered tonight. And I will also post links to music and upload the files that I'm able to that will be free, because they're in the public domain and I can share them. So we hadn't talked about that yet. So are you okay with the tablature idea and everything? Okay, because we started talking about that as you were coming in. Okay, all right.
I just need to practice.
Yeah. And when I first started playing with tablature, I seriously, do you know what I mean? Okay, I was seriously like that. I was like, which string is string number 1? How does that go with this? And sometimes I'd have to, pull it up and look at it, But trust me, about 2 weeks of, regular practice, and you won't even think it's a problem anymore. It will your brain just automatically flips it over. So, brains are cool things that way. They're like, oh yes, I realize that I'm supposed to see this backwards. Anyway, we're upside down. Okay, well I'm gonna stop the recording then for the first.